Hello friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll talk about questions of Balikbayans and foreign nationals. So these questions po are coming from you guys, from your comments, and I gathered them. So in this video, questions of Balikbayans and foreign nationals only. Okay po, so for OFWs po or Filipinos without foreign nationals families, this video is not for you. I will also make another video just for OFWs, just for non-OFWs, ganun. So this video is just for Balikbayans and foreign nationals. Okay, let's start with the first question by Ken Ken. I'm outside the Philippines. How can my husband go to the Philippines? What are the requirements? Okay, so let me just read. You are outside the Philippines. You have a foreign husband. No, your foreign husband cannot apply for a visa to enter the Philippines if you are not in the Philippines. The purpose of giving visas for foreign spouses is that they could be reunited with their Filipina or Filipino spouse in the Philippines. So, if wala po kayo sa Pilipinas, hindi po mabibigyan ng visa ang asawa ninyo unless may anak kayo sa Pilipinas. Next question is from Melka. How about from Japan? Are we allowed to visit now with hubby and kid? Okay, you have a Japanese husband and a kid, Filipino-Japanese kid. Can they go to the Philippines? Yes po, you can visit the Philippines anytime. They can avail Balikbayan program. Just bring your marriage certificate and the birth certificate of your child. Now, of course, please, Melka, know the travel restrictions of Japan. I know Japan is very strict right now because of the COVID surge there. But if you're talking about travel to the Philippines, yeah, no problem. They can avail Balikbayan program. Next is Safa. Hi, pwede ba mag-travel from Philippines to Pakistan? Nakabana ba ang Pakistan sa Pinas? Pa-help naman po. From Philippines to Pakistan, I don't know the travel restrictions in Pakistan. Pero nakaban ba ang Pakistan sa Pinas? No, Pakistan is not banned. The travel restrictions was already lifted last September 6. So travelers from Pakistan, if Filipinos, Balikbayans, and foreigners with visa can enter the Philippines coming from Pakistan, and it's only 10 days quarantine. Next is from Harriet. May I clarify this? Foreign spouse, they travel to the Philippines with the Balikbayan. What if me and my son travel to Philippines first and then my husband will just follow a few months later because of his job? Is he still qualified for the Balikbayan privilege? This question was answered by the immigration. The answer is no. He will not. He needs to secure an entry visa prior to his arrival in the Philippines. Yes, guys. Balikbayan privilege is not for foreign parents. It's only for if you're traveling with a spouse or if you are a child of a Filipino or a former Filipino. In this case, Harriet needs to travel with his husband so his husband can avail Balikbayan program. Otherwise, kailangan mag-apply ng visa. Next is from GQ. Thank you, GQ. Happy to see you again. Just wondered if one received mixed vaccine, Pfizer and Moderna, will that person be allowed to enter the Philippines? I assume GQ is a foreign tourist. Now, guys, whether vaccinated or not, for now, it doesn't matter. All foreign tourists are still not yet allowed to enter the Philippines. All foreign nationals need a visa unless they are a foreign spouse or a foreign child of a Filipino traveling together. So in this case, it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated. Will vaccination be required once foreign tourists will be allowed? More probably. But nobody has the answer right now. For now, it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. But still, guys, get vaccinated. Next question is from Judy. Hello, Miss Jen. Is it okay to fly through Melbourne to Singapore to Clark for hours in transit? Yes, no problem. You can transit in Singapore. Next is from Jenny Joy. What if a former Filipino citizen, now a U.S. citizen, traveling alone to the Philippines to visit a Filipino parent? Is this Balikbayan program still applicable? The answer of the immigration is yes, the former Filipino is still eligible for the Balikbayan program, provided that he or she will present a copy of his of her birth certificate or old Filipino passport, guys. Yes, even if you're single, if you're traveling alone, it's okay. If you're a former Filipino, you're covered. Next is from Stephen. As a Canadian married to a Filipina, can we get a visa at the airport in Manila as we did 3 years ago? Yes, Stephen, because you are a foreign spouse of a Filipina and you'll be traveling together. Yes, it's just like old times. You can get Balikbayan privilege. Okay? You just need your marriage certificate. Okay? Make sure that your wife is with you. If you travel to the Philippines alone, then you need a visa. Okay, next question is from Elsa. I'm holding a British citizenship but born in the Philippines. UK is on red list. Am I allowed and my British husband to go back home as Balikbayan? I know that under the UK restrictions, Philippine is red. But if we're looking at the Philippines, there is no red list country as of now. And UK is never a red list country except last January, early this year. But no, UK is not a red list by the Philippine government. So you can go home, you can travel to the Philippines as Balikbayans along with your husband. Just bring the marriage certificate and your old Philippine passport or a Philippine birth certificate. That's it. Elsa, you can go. Next is from Jim. Does this mean a Filipino can travel to Thailand? Yes, with the easing of restrictions. For Thailand, yes, Filipinos can travel to Thailand. Next is Joe. Hi, thank you for this video. It helped us. Thank you. I have 2 questions. Do they swab 6-year-old kids too? Yes, they swab even 2-month-old baby. So your 6-year-old will be swabbed as well through the mouth. And my second question, is my wife a green card holder with a Filipino citizenship? Is she considered OFW or foreigner or non-OFW? She's considered a non-OFW. She's a Filipino citizen. And so she will be covering all the expenses of her hotel and COVID testing. Okay, let me drink water. Sorry, guys. Next question is from Alex. I have no old Filipino passport and my birth certificate. No Filipino passport and no birth certificate. I only have a Filipino identification certificate. Am I allowed to enter the Philippines? According to the immigration, yes, you're allowed to enter with your identification certificate. Please present it along with your foreign passport. And he had a follow-up question. I just want to clarify because it's indicated in the certificate that it's not valid for travel. Yes, it's not valid as a travel document, meaning it's not like a passport, which is why you need to always present a valid foreign passport each time you show it to an immigration officer. There you go. Next is from Chuck. I have a question. I'm from Canada and my wife is a Philippine woman. We are married for 3 years now. I want to go back, but I had to get a 9A visa in Toronto. My question is, if my wife meets me outside of the Philippines, can I fly back in the Philippines with her and stay there? Yes, absolutely, Chuck. If you travel with your Filipino wife, you can avail Balikbayan program, visa-free entry and stay in the Philippines for 1 year. And this is free. Literally, you don't pay for anything. 0 pesos. Next is from Jared. Paano mag-apply ng Balikbayan visa? Balikbayan visa is not something that you need to apply, guys. If you're eligible, that's it. You just bring your old Filipino passport or birth certificate. And if you're a foreign spouse, marriage certificate. And if you're a foreign child, birth certificate. That's it. You don't have to apply for it. As long as you're eligible and you have the necessary document, that's it. It's given to you upon arrival at the airport. Next is from AZ. I'm from Singapore and I got a daughter going to be 2 years old next month in the Philippines. Can I enter the Philippines and provide photocopies the name father on my daughter birth certificate? Because the original certificate is with my fiance. So for us, no, you need to secure an entry visa prior to your arrival here in the Philippines. Kindly visit the embassy in Singapore to apply for 9A visa. Show the birth certificate, and if the embassy acknowledges it and grants you the visa, only then you can enter the Philippines. Yes, for foreign parents, you just need to apply for a visa. As long as your name is in the birth certificate of your Filipino child, then you can apply for a visa and enter into our lovely country. Next question, Osman. When will the airport open for tourists? Bon, you're exactly right. No one has an answer to that. Not even the government can answer that exactly. And I don't think even the president can answer that question. Nobody knows. We don't know when will they open for foreign tourists. Next is from Jason. The whole point of virtual marriage is to help couples who are not physically together to get married virtually until they can eventually get back together. So if that is true, what is the rationale for this bill? Who is going to use it? If you are in the same location together, why do you need a virtual marriage? This sounds like another national joke. Jason, this is his reaction on the virtual marriage bill that was recently passed in the Philippines. I don't know the clear guidelines about that law, guys. But one thing is for sure, with that law, you need to be, or with that bill, you need to be in the same location to do virtual wedding, which is does make sense, just like what Jason said. But it's not yet a law; it's just a bill now. So yeah, let's wait if it actually becomes a law. Let's hope they allow couples who are not in the same location. Next is from Goran. Hi Jennifer, got one question. How come it's mentioned Bosnia and Herzegovina in green country before and didn't mention Croatia? Bosnia is a neighborhood country. Croatia is always in green zone, not much cases. Now we are in orange zone because of tourism. We are open for all vacation. Can you check in what zone in your list is Croatia? Croatia is yellow country. It's 10 days quarantine. Here is working in many OFWs, kababayans, much more than in Bosnia. I never saw in your list of countries Croatia. Yes, Croatia is not on that list. I think perhaps it's because also the Philippines green country is based on the CDC's travel recommendations, and you know the politics between US and Europe travel. So if you look at the CDC's list of safe countries, you will not find much green European countries. So that could be the reason why Croatia is not on the list. But I don't know the COVID cases in Croatia. But that's my opinion. I think it's politically driven. Anyway, next question is from Manish. What if India on the red list? Still foreign spouse allowed or not? Reply. India is no longer under the red list. So if you're a foreign spouse of a Filipino in India, you can apply for a visa to enter the Philippines. Sam, I have dual citizenship. My only valid passport is my Canadian passport. My Philippine passport expired last February 2020. Can I travel to the Philippines presenting my Canadian passport showing them my expired Philippine passport? I'm planning to renew my passport in the Philippines. Yes, Sam, you can enter the Philippines, but it's best if you could bring your dual citizenship certificates and present it on your arrival. Because if you show that, then you will be admitted as a Filipino citizen. You can stay here unlimited. But if you won't show them your certificate of dual citizenship, then they will admit you as a Balikbayan. You get 1 year visa-free stay in the Philippines. Next is from Casa. Jen, for 9A visa, a foreign partner or parent of a Filipino child just need the birth certificate to present to the immigration or still need to get the travel exemption? No, travel exemption is no longer required for foreign partners or parents of Filipinos holding 9A visa, so you don't need it. Next, George, is it possible to get married online? I'm a US citizen, my fiance, and my 2-year-old who's born there in Uzamis Occidental, if I'm correct. Okay, George, yes, you can get married online, especially that you are a US citizen. You're much more allowed since this is a US wedding. But my fiance, if you have, I don't know, you said you have a 2-year-old son. If this is your own son and your name is in his birth certificate, then you can simply apply for a 9A visa, enter the Philippines, and get married there. But if this 2-year-old is not your own son, yes, you can get married online. If you need help, email me. This my email is a fish who does not swim at gmail.com. If you need any help with the online wedding. Yes, you can do online wedding and then travel to the Philippines. Next is, I covered his name, but this is an email, a very interesting email. Once again, Jennifer, I applaud you on your diligence and informative content. Thank you. Thank you very much. I asked my fiance about the virtual wedding or marriage, and she informed me that the Philippines won't recognize this as a legal marriage, and I won't be able to attain my visa this way. As an American citizen, I am more and more concerned with the life I lead here. Would it be possible to renounce my citizenship here and go to the Philippines to become a citizen there? Just a question that has been growing in my head due to the way Americans are behaving towards the vaccine. Oh, wow, this guy would renounce his American citizenship to enter the Philippines. Grabe. Very opposite to many Filipinos. Many of us would renounce our Filipino citizenship to go to America. But anyway, back to your question. I think your fiance is wrong. This is not online wedding. Consider it as a US wedding, and US wedding is recognized in the Philippines. And a lot of couples have used online wedding as a means to enter the Philippines, to be reunited or meet their love of their life in the Philippines. So I beg to differ with your fiance. No, you cannot renounce your American citizenship and come here. It's not like that. It's a long process, and they're very strict on this renouncing and becoming a citizen. Um, the only way for you to come here is you do online wedding, or you meet in a third country and get married there. Or the last option is just to wait for the Philippines to open up to foreign tourists. Next is from Stuart. If you fly in together with your spouse, do they accept foreign marriage certificates, or do they still have to process it in the embassy where the marriage took place? Very good question, Stuart. I'm also confused with this one. There's no consistency. I know some couples, they were asked for the report of marriage, and some couples only had apostilled marriage certificate, and it was accepted. And there are even couples who only used foreign marriage certificate, and they were accepted. It's very inconsistent, but if you were to ask me, it's better to do the report of marriage. Even if it's just a receipt, you can use that. Or you can do apostilled marriage certificate. Next, Pinay Boss. Hello po. Tanong ko po, I have a question. If we travel to the Philippines along with my husband, who is fully vaccinated, and I am not vaccinated, is that okay if we quarantine together 10 days and we get our swab test together at the same time? Yes, yes. Pinay Boss, but some hotels will not allow it. So better you choose a hotel and then you contact them. Excuse me, can we quarantine together with my husband? If they say yes, that's good. If they say no, then find another hotel that will allow it. Simple like that. Next is from Terry. Going back, sorry. My Pinay Boss, it doesn't matter if both of you are vaccinated or not. You still have to quarantine anyway. Next is from Terry. Oh my gosh, it's so long. Hi, does anyone know how things work as far as an American marrying a Filipina? Reason I say this is my fiance and are getting married in December in a country where both countries recognize the marriage and honors the certificate. Oh, this is Terry. Yeah. I emailed. Oh, he emailed me. They have plans of getting married in Costa Rica this December. Good choice, Terry. Costa Rica is a good country to meet and get married. Filipinos can get married there. You can do that, guys. Get married in a third country if you don't want virtual wedding, and if you cannot wait any more Philippines to open up. Next is from Bob. What is the quarantine requirement for SRRV holders, US citizens? 10 days quarantine in the hotel. Yeah, it's 10 days quarantine, Bob. Next is from Sandra. Is it true that effective September 6, Balikbayan program cannot apply for not dual citizens? No, that's not true. First up, Balikbayan program is for former Filipinos, not for dual citizens. And next, I am not a dual citizen. I'm a former Filipino. Yes, you can still enter, Sandra. Don't worry, Balikbayan program is still in effect. Just bring your old Filipino passport or birth certificate. And that is the end of this Q&A, guys. I hope you got something. I hope it has been helpful. Don't forget to like this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions, comment down below. Some of you are very helpful in answering questions. Shout out to Kitty, to SJ, and others. Thank you so much for helping one another, and you help growing this channel. So I'll see you guys with another Q&A and a Philippine travel update. Bye bye.